On behalf of the entire executive, I want to say how great it is to see each one of you here on this important gathering. I'll start by offering my sincere thanks and congratulations to every teacher in our province for the professionalism and patience that they have shown in what has likely been one of the most challenging beginnings to the school year. As you do every year, you've put students first yet again. I'd like to thank Bobby and the staff at the Federation for the support and encouragement that you provide to me every single day. I could name them, well, I would probably forget one is what it is, but I know Scott has a very strict timeline and I'm gonna run out of time, but I would love to thank every single one of them individually, not just on behalf of me, but on behalf of all teachers across this province. There are a ton of things happening within our membership and within our organization. Not just bargaining, and they are doing incredible work to support teachers and the teaching profession in all areas of this province. So I would like to extend a sincere thanks to all of the staff for all of the work that you do every single day. And even though they are not here yet, because they will be tonight, I'd like to acknowledge the sacrifices that have been made by my family in the long months on the road. I wouldn't be able to do this important work without their love and support. As you are all aware, over the past 2 days, teachers across this province have been casting their vote for or against sanctions. I'll be announcing the results of the vote during my address. So please make sure you pay attention. I'm also going to be calling local association presidents and provincial executive members up to the front to join me in that announcement, because these are not my results, they are not the bargaining team's results, they are our results. We all share in this work and in this commitment. So when I call on you, please come to the front and line up behind me here on the stage or down to the sides so we can share in the announcement. However, before we get to that, I'm going to spend a bit of time reminding everyone exactly how we got here. It is truly sad that our relationship with the current government has deteriorated so badly that a sanctions vote is even required. All of this is so unnecessary, wasteful, and disruptive to students, families, and teachers. It creates uncertainty for teachers and students in classrooms across our province. And trust me, every single chance I get, I will be repeating an important message. This is on government, not on teachers. This government has within its power to make public education a priority, something that I know we all believe should be our top priority, or even to make children a priority. But instead, they waste their time on poppies. However, it has made a political decision to focus on other things, and we must play the cards that we have been dealt, ever mindful of our overriding responsibility to protect and support the children in our classrooms, the strong students and the vulnerable ones, the independent ones and the ones that take a little bit more of our time and energy, and the ones we stay up at night worrying about. They are all in our care. This is what teaching and education is all about, and it is serious business. As poet Mary Oliver wrote, "It's a serious thing just to be alive on this fresh morning in the broken world." The education sector in Saskatchewan is broken. Our government broke it. And it is now up to us to fix it. On the 13th of October, we took an important step towards that goal. We declared an impasse and called for conciliation. And a few days later, we announced our plans for a sanctions vote. These were not easy decisions, but they are essential. Our government the people elected to serve everyone in Saskatchewan, including kids, even though they don't have a vote, were refusing to bargain, refusing to even acknowledge the very significant challenges that teachers and students are facing in all areas of our province. We put forward a salary proposal that would allow you to recover some of your losses that you've experienced over the last 2 agreements. Losses caused by pay increases well below the rate of inflation. Government refused to consider that proposal. We put forward an evidence-based plan to deal with growing class sizes and lack of supports for increasingly complex classrooms. Is it cheap? No. Can teachers continue without having these very serious challenges addressed? No. Do we expect all these solutions in 1 year? No, we're pretty reasonable, but we need to start making changes. But once again, this government, your government, refused to negotiate. We talked about minimum salaries for substitute teachers. They're not interested. We raised the very concerning stories about teachers who have been harmed in violent incidents in the classroom. We provided real testimonials. We provided pictures of black eyes, broken bones, and those don't even show the emotional damage that occurs in those incidents. Heartbreaking examples of teachers who have suffered serious injuries and the impacts of those experiences have had on students in our classrooms. The government refused to take this issue seriously. They were disrespectful, they were dismissive, and they showed no empathy. They compared these incidences to slips, trips, and falls. We talked about teacher autonomy and how you, our members, are best positioned to judge the educational needs of students in our classroom. They said teacher autonomy is already enshrined in the Education Act. All of this, they're saying all of that, while at the same time recalling the Legislative Assembly to use the notwithstanding clause, forcing changes to that very act. Still, they refused to engage. They refused to compromise. They refused to listen, preferring instead to read from lengthy, prepared statements. This is not negotiations. From government's perspective, it was teachers giving and them taking. As I said on the day of our announcements, they left teachers with no other option. We met 9 times, and there has been no significant progress. Your government, the people who are supposed to represent you and protect your interests, refused to bargain on 9 out of the 10 teacher proposals. As soon as we made our announcement, the Ministry of Education spin machine went into overdrive, as we fully expected it to. Our new minister, Jeremy Cockrell, said, teachers left the table. No, minister, no. Teachers did not leave the table. You and your government didn't even show up. You say, that you're ready to bargain anytime teachers want to come back to the table. But sitting and saying no is not bargaining. Once again, you have put your own political needs ahead of the interests of kids and teachers. Shame on you. Shame. Minister Cockrell said instead of holding rallies across the province, teachers should head back to the bargaining table. If that minister and this government showed up and did their job, we wouldn't have to be holding rallies across Saskatchewan. So shame on you, Minister Cockrell. Shame on you for your lack of interest in dealing with the serious issues your government has created in the education sector. Shame on you for doing nothing to help the education sector when the number of students keeps increasing and the number of teachers keeps dropping. Shame on you for your misleading the public with inaccurate information and false narratives aimed at villainizing teachers. Shame on you for having no interest in sustainably funding our public education system, ensuring all students have access to a high-quality education. You have the money to improve public education for all students in our province. You just don't have the will. You'd rather play politics. You would rather play politics instead of meeting the needs of our students. Shame on you. As I survey the state of public education in the province of Saskatchewan and the state of public education across our country, I can't help but think of a line written by the American author Philip Roth. It's too ridiculous to take seriously and too serious to be ridiculous. It is ridiculous that I must keep hearing the rote statements and non-answers provided by government and trustees at the bargaining table. It is ridiculous that this government refuses to acknowledge enrollment is at record levels and class sizes have increased dramatically. Ridiculous that our many testimonials from teachers who have been injured in classrooms are dismissed with contempt and offhand remarks that teachers are just focusing on the negative because we're in bargaining. Ridiculous that they won't even concede Saskatchewan is on the cusp of a teacher recruitment and retention crisis, all because their own intransigence and blindness. Here's an email we received in late September about overcrowding and poor conditions in one school. There was a classroom that was built for 15 kids that now holds 25. There's mold growing underneath a portable unit. Any plants, leftover food, or damp materials grow mold within days. Students complain of headaches, frequent colds, and coughs that linger. There are classes where students have ADHD, but no EA support because the needs are greater elsewhere. With only one teacher, there will be behavior that interrupts learning. Here's another email we received a few weeks earlier. The job is completely unsustainable. I have 3 hours in the morning to help students. In that time, I also have to Band-Aid fix staff shortages for EAs, deal with meltdowns of students with severe learning disabilities, and supposedly help teachers plan. But when? And with what resources? I am frustrated, burnt out, and have no job satisfaction. Here's a letter from a teacher in rural Saskatchewan. I teach 6th grade levels. My class size is small. However, this does not make it any easier. I'm still facing the same lack of classroom support and time to make this workable. My classroom is extremely complex, despite its small size. 6 curricula in one classroom is impossible. I am doing my best to meet everyone's learning needs, but learning is being triaged and sacrificed. I'm ready to fight for our students and for our future. Here's an email from a teacher talking about the personal toll this year has taken. My hallway houses 300 students. My classroom was originally an alternate space. I have many needs in my classroom, including but not limited to English as an additional language. Since EAL teachers have been significantly reduced due to underfunding, I have little language support. I love my career, but lately, I hate my job. I choose to keep showing up every day only because I care deeply about and believe in my students and all children. The reality is that teachers are routinely sacrificing our own families, finances, and personal lives for the sake of our students. This is neither equitable nor sustainable. I am tired. I am a good teacher, but I am not invincible. How far does the government expect me to bend before I break? Let's acknowledge a couple important things in these letters from teachers. First, they want to do a good job. They have the professional experience and expertise required to know what a good job looks like. They just don't have the time or resources to be able to do it. Also notice how the government has created an unsustainable situation. Classrooms that are too small or filled with mold, lack of support staff, lack of professional resources for students with intensive needs, lack of EAL support, multiple grades, frustration, anger, despair. A situation that has taken years of underfunding to create will take years of hard work to fix. And I hear words in those letters that haunt me. And these words that should haunt every elected official in this province, as much as they haunt me, I'm a good teacher, but I'm not invincible. But notice something else, the strong resolve, the desire to put students first, the readiness to fight for what is needed. I don't think the government was expecting this. I think that they thought we would fold like a cheap card table after they put up a couple of billboards. They underestimate just how fed up teachers would be after years of funding increases below the rate of inflation and enrollment. You might have heard our wonderful executive director use an adapted quote from Network. Teachers are madder than hell, and we're not gonna take it anymore. And that's where we're at. In Saskatchewan's education sector in October of 2023. That's what government has failed to take into account. They didn't calculate the anger that would cause a group of professionals that are incredibly dedicated to delivering high-quality public education. What they've done with their billboards, their politically motivated pronouns debate, and their bargaining intransigence is create something else. Not a divided, demoralized teaching profession. What they've accidentally and unintentionally created, according to one local columnist, is an angry mob of committed professionals. Committed to fighting for the future of public education in Saskatchewan, committed to fighting for our students. And so long as we stick together in the coming weeks and months ahead, we will win that fight. It's going to take a lot to push this stubborn, dismal, and dismissive and disrespectful government off of their position. I'm ready for that fight, and I know that you are too. I can hear it in this room. The months ahead will be difficult and challenging. The going will get tough. But let's remember how we felt on the steps of the Saskatchewan legislature back in April. And honestly, the same feeling I feel in this room here today. We all feel the power we hold as a collective. As I said in a recent video, the fight is not over, not by a long shot, but let's win this one. For our students, for our colleagues, and for ourselves, because we deserve it. Kids deserve it. Saskatchewan deserves better. Yeah. So as I said, presidents and local presidents and provincial executive, if you want to come join me up on the stage, we will be getting to the results soon. But as they're coming up, you have heard me say this before, hopefully heard me say this before. We need everyone across this province to buckle up and show up. Buckle up because the road ahead is going to be bumpy. There are going to be challenges. There are likely going to be setbacks, but we must remain committed to taking the action that is necessary to get what kids deserve in public education. So buckle up, but show up. We are all in this together. That is what this shows. That is what this room shows. So I would just just like to add a quick reminder that the information is confidential and embargoed until 10 o'clock today. So just a quick reminder of that. But thank you to everyone who showed up and voted or encouraged other colleagues to vote as well. I have some questions for you now. I want to hear from you loud and clear, yes or no. Do you feel valued by this government? No. Do you feel respected by this government? No. Does this government make public education a priority? No. Are they making our kids a priority? No. Are we going to take it anymore? No. Are we mad as hell? Yes! I say enough is enough. Enough is enough to the Minister of Education. Enough is enough to the Treasury Board members who refuse to invest in public education. Enough is enough to this government and every elected official that continues to turn their back on our children, on our classrooms, on the future of this province. Enough is enough. Whatever the results are, whatever comes from this in the future, remember that message that I started with. This is their fault. They made the political choices to refuse to bargain. They made the political choices to refuse to make kids a priority. This is on them. Now I want to hear from you. We're going to do it 3 times as I open the envelope. I've said enough is enough, but loud and clear, let them hear it. What do you say? Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. So the vote results. 90% of teachers participated. For a ballot that stated, I support the Saskatchewan Teachers Federation Executive and Teachers Bargaining Committee in imposing sanctions in pursuit of a new provincial collective bargaining agreement that affirms the worth of teachers, I understand this vote is valid until June 30th of 2024, and that the STF Executive and Teachers Bargaining Committee may implement a variety of actions, including full withdrawal of service. For the response of yes, I do. 95%. We're not going appreciate and love all of the energy in the room. Unfortunately, that meant that those joining us online couldn't hear. So we apologize. There are 1,200 people across this province who joined in to hear those results. Incredible. So to reiterate, 90% of teachers voted, and 95% voted in favor of taking sanctions and standing up to this government. Thank you all so much for your support and your commitment, not just for yourselves, but your colleagues and your students. Thank you for your leadership in your locals. It's, like I said, buckle up and show up. It's going to be a rough ride ahead, but we are stronger if we are in this together. We're going to transition now into our next plenary.